Hello TKE Nation, welcome into our CEO Weekly video for the week ending May 10th, 2020. I want to start and say Happy Mother's Day. Thank you to all the mothers out there that support this great fraternity of ours. We love you, we cherish you. Happy Mother's Day. Hope you have a great day and get a chance to relax and celebrate. Many things going on in the organization over the past week and then the next week. Got so many great things I want to share with you as we head towards the end of the fiscal year, which ends on May 31st for Tall Cap Epsilon, and we head into the summer and many of the great things that we're planning to make this a summer unlike any other. We understand we've got extreme circumstances, but we're going to take that extreme circumstance and make an extreme opportunity out of it. And so grateful that you've joined us for this video. First, a couple shout outs. First, the Mu Alpha group at Westchester University, one of our new colonies. Want to congratulate them. They've been doing some great work in fundraising for St. Jude and a new event that they're doing, as well as their alumni have stepped up from the beginning in first working to get the group back recognized at Westchester University, but also they have stepped up and working to form an alumni association, and Tom Gill and Yoder and the whole group there. They have really been tremendous as we've gotten this group going. They have been supportive now with candidate initiate fees in this time, understanding financially some of those men who are joining Tall Cap Epsilon might not have the resources to be able to pay those fees. We want to thank you, gentlemen, for your support. You've been absolutely tremendous. Additionally, Beta Gamma, our group at Oklahoma State University, another colony that has been growing through this pandemic and come on as COVID has come to our shores. They have stepped up in planning for the summer, planning for next fall, ensuring that they're going to utilize this time again to get better and understand these aren't the normal circumstances of when we bring colonies on that focus towards becoming a chartered group again, but they aren't going to let that stop them from their potential and doing all they can to live the mission of Tall Cap Epsilon. Let's talk about the things that are going on in the organization. First, statements of emergency. Those were a couple of them were shared on TKE.org. They highlight two different areas. The first is something that occurred at Conclave. If you were an attendee at Conclave, you might recall there was heated discussion. And it was great discussion around BOAs and housing corporations and the separation of the two and ensuring that we're putting ourselves in the best risk position possible. And in those discussions, after those discussions occurred, they were paused at Conclave, and a blue ribbon committee was created by the Venerable Grand Preakness, Dr. Jim Hickey, and chaired by Ryan Vesio, who is our Grand Mateus. He did a great job in chairing that committee with both people who are proponents of the legislation that was put forward as well as opponents of the legislation that was put forward. They had numerous conversations and unanimously put a position forward that then was unanimously approved by the Grand Council. That will be the law of the land until Conclave 2021, and so that is articulated at TKE.org. And at 2021 at Conclave in Houston, everyone will have an opportunity to either ratify that or make a decision we want to move in another direction. But that is all at TKE.org. You can go see that statement of emergency. The second statement of emergency is around the fee structure and the announcement of fees. The announcement of fees I will talk about here in a second, but will be coming shortly. There is a window in the Black Book whenever fees are changed that there has to be 6 months before those fees are actually collected that we have to announce that. Due to COVID, due to the announcement and the work that has been done on the fee structure for next year, that period is being shortened in terms of announcement to TKE Nation. Again, I'll highlight here in a second when those fees will be announced. So please go to TKE.org if you want to learn more about those two statements of emergency, and excited to continue to keep the fraternity moving forward. Second piece I want to highlight is the digital version of the TKE is up. And if you go to TKE.org, you can find that. Go in the search bar for the TKE. You can find the digital version of that and get a look at that before it hits mailboxes here in the next 2 weeks. The strategic plan for Tall Cap Epsilon, you've probably heard me talking about it on these videos. The 5-year plan for TKE, that will be released on Monday. So please look out tomorrow for the strategic plan to be released. We're very excited about all the work that has gone into that. Listen, during that process, we did go out and survey every demographic of the organization, from chapter officers to volunteers to past Grand Preakness, past Grand Officer. Number of people are brought in, advisors, members who are facilitators at our educational programs, to get their perspective on what were the priorities. So when you see the priorities out there and what is in that strategic plan, that was taken from the feedback from our membership. And want to make sure that everyone understands that was taken into account as the Grand Council crafted this strategic plan very carefully to put us in a path for the next 5 years to be successful. The International Sweetheart will be announced on Tuesday. Excited to share that with TKE Nation. Fee structure, I just mentioned it. That will be announced on Wednesday. To give you a preview, in the aggregate of when you put all the fees together that a typical collegiate member had paid in this past year, expect fees to go down slightly going into 2021/2022. Foundation scholarships will be announced on Friday. Excited to showcase and highlight those men who have received those scholarships. Virtual commencement on May 19th at 8 p.m. Tau Kappa Epsilon will be holding a virtual commencement ceremony for all of you graduating seniors. I'm beyond thrilled about this. Two-star general, Major General Charles Whittington will be our commencement speaker, a man who is an absolute stud, who will be giving you a 20-minute address on leadership, something you want to be there for. I'm sure numerous colleges and universities are having their own virtual commencement. Please show up, show out for the TKE Nation Virtual Commencement. First ever will be occurring May 19th at 8 p.m. Venerable Grand Preakness will be there as well as myself to share messages with you, and we hope that you will join us and thrilled to be able to spend a little bit of time with you and highlight and showcase the great things that you have done in 2020 in representing our great fraternity. Fraternity for Life ceremony will be occurring this week for you graduating seniors. We understand that ceremony physically not being able to be taken place, but we want to do that virtually. Members of the Grand Council will be officers sitting in for that Fraternity for Life ceremony. And those are going to be occurring regionally. So please go to TKE.org/staff. If you don't know, go to your regional director. If you don't know, reach out to them when yours is this week, but those will be occurring throughout the week. We look forward to you joining us. We've also been sending out communications, emails to those seniors to let them know. So if for some reason that hit your spam, please go check your spam. But TKE.org/staff, you can always connect with our team and find out when that is, get the link, and we look forward to you joining us to those Fraternity for Life ceremonies this week. As we go into June, we will have the Virtual Alumni Volunteer Academy and many resources out there for our volunteer training. June's going to be a big focus week on a big focus month on how we train our volunteers. We've beefed that up over the past couple of years. We can do even more and being innovative and excited about the work that's going into the month of June. July is going to be about officer training. July is going to be about leadership training. Things we have never done before, gentlemen, and that is connecting, getting officers to talk to each other virtually, peer-to-peer training, leadership training from some of our best and brightest. We have the ability, again, how can we be creative? How can we push the limits of what this organization can be and use this time to connect with each other? This is something that is not just going to happen now. It's going to happen going into the future to be able to ensure that the Preakness out at USC, Southern Cal, could talk to the Preakness at Rutgers, could talk to the Preakness at our group at Florida State, or our group down there at Central Florida, or maybe our group up at University of Minnesota, getting all of our groups connected, some of our groups up in Canada. We have the ability to do that. We do it at some of our programs in person. It's a phenomenal experience. We do it at our Leadership Academy. We can do it virtually as well. And we've got a lot of great ideas on how we can train and engage and ensure you get questions answered, but also you get top-level leadership training. I encourage you, as I have in previous videos, please go to our YouTube channel, subscribe there. We have over 40 videos that have been produced over the last 6 weeks for you to go and engage with. Go to the TKE Nation podcast, over 24 episodes that we have produced by this point, the TKE Nation podcast, wherever you download your favorite podcast. And always go to TKE.org for the latest information, TKE.org/coronavirus. You can learn essentially the things that are going on right now in this pandemic, but also TKE.org has all sorts of information, including resource guides, information about the organization, ways to get yourself up to speed on all the things Tau Kappa Epsilon. Frauders, friends, I want to thank you for joining me on these weekly videos. I'm beyond excited about the work that we're doing as we close out this year. Got about 3 weeks left to close out this fiscal year, and so many things that we can do this summer to elevate this organization, be prepared going into the fall. Are there a lot of unknowns? Absolutely. Do we know what fall enrollment looks like? It's probably going to be extremely challenging, and we've put a lot of things in place organizationally in the way that we're training and educating our members, but even cost-cutting measures that we have put in place in terms of suspending travel. We've frozen hires right now for our staff. Not something that we obviously want to do, but things that decisions we have to make to protect our membership and to protect our financial sustainability. We're making decisions just as you're making decisions, and we want to be helpful to you as we move through this pandemic and as we prepare to thrive in the fall. I truly believe we can make that happen. Elevate what fraternity means. The last aspect that I want to touch upon is Life Loyalty. This is a program. 100% of every dollar that goes into Life Loyalty goes straight to our educational programs to support all these events that we're putting on. Due to our tremendous partners at the Teak Foundation, 100% of your donation goes straight to our educational programs. You can go to teak.org/LLT to learn more about that. You can do monthly payments, $2 a month, and just a small aspect of support to the organization will be very appreciative. You can give quarterly. You can give all at once if you want. Every single gift matters, and we're extremely grateful for anyone who can contribute to the Fraternity for Life. I understand for some of you this is not the time to contribute. Completely understand that. For those of you may be thriving through this time, or you have the ability to chip in some small way that can make an extreme difference. It may seem small to you, but it is extreme to this organization. Given the manpower, the 250,000 people that we have, your impact matters to this organization. We've got to shift the dynamic. That's a big aspect as we move into the next fiscal year. We got to shift the dynamic of collegiate fees and alumni support. If we want to be financially sustainable and to be the type of organization we want to be, we have got to work harder, all of us as alumni, and how we can contribute time, talent, and treasure to make this organization even more robust and to give it the resources and the manpower it needs to absolutely get on a trajectory to thrive and to surpass what anyone ever thought it was possible, and frankly, what our founders' dreams were for Talk Up Epsilon. Thank you again for joining us the weekly CEO video. Look forward to joining you next week. Let's have a great week. A lot of great things going on. Let's dominate the week. Let's make a great impact on our campuses, on our communities, on our families, and on this world. Frauders, I love the fraternity.